The planet Varelia 7 was known across the Intergalactic Alliance as the Furnace. It was a world no living thing should survive on. The sun scorched the black glass plains with brutal heat. The atmosphere was thick with poisonous gases, and violent, magnetic storms tore through the sky like angry beasts. Every ship sent to study it had failed, every probe lost, every miner sent to extract cryostellium crystals rare and precious had perished. From orbit, Varelia 7 looked like a dying ember in space. No one expected anyone to land and walk its surface alive. But that day, a small shuttle cut through the glowing clouds and descended toward the burning planet. Inside, Captain Juno Kalin sat upright, her hands steady on the controls. She was human, with a calm fire in her eyes that no one else in the Alliance seemed to understand. Behind her, 3 more humans waited. Sergeant Liam Drake, tough and silent, checked the pressure suits one last time. Dr. Mara Solis studied the environmental readings, frowning as the data streamed in. Engineer Cade Rowan ran through the drill system diagnostics. Already itching to get to work, Juno spoke softly. "All right, team. This is where the galaxy says no. Let's show them yes." Their shuttle landed with a hiss on the black glass surface. The heat hit immediately, so intense it made the air shimmer in waves. Juno stepped out first, feeling the fiery wind tug at her suit. Through her helmet, she could smell the sharp bite of ammonia mixed with burning minerals. "It's worse than I imagined," Mara said, voice tight with both awe and concern. "Radiation levels off the charts. If these suits fail, we won't last a minute." Liam scanned the horizon, steady as ever. "No time for fear. The cryostellium deposits are just below. We move fast, we move smart." Above them, a sleek silver patrol ship hung in the sky. Ambassador Thrix, the Kiari envoy, known for his sharp temper, spoke through the comms in a dozen alien tongues. "Humans, this is a restricted world. You cannot survive here. Return to orbit immediately. Your presence endangers the mission." Juno smiled faintly. "Message received, Ambassador. We're going to stay." The other humans bristled, but no one argued. They had faced worse. They had survived worse. The cryostellium was their prize, a rare crystal that stabilized wormholes. The Alliance needed it desperately to keep faster-than-light travel safe, but no other species could mine it on this planet. Their equipment melted, their crews were poisoned or burned. But humans had something different. The humans began setting up their equipment. Cade unpacked a compact drill rig, designed to burrow into the black glass soil. The others spread out, collecting samples and checking the surroundings. Suddenly, the sky darkened. A storm was coming, the magnetic storms that ripped across the furnace with deadly force. Juno's voice cracked through the calm but firm. "Everyone, get ready to secure the site. We don't have long." The air trembled, charged with electricity. Mara's visor flickered as a wave of radiation hit the surface. The ground beneath them vibrated. "This is it," Liam said, gripping his tool tightly. "Showtime." Lightning like silver snakes split the sky. The magnetic field whipped the air into a frenzy, and the temperature soared further. The humans worked fast, despite the danger. Cade's drill hit the first vein of cryostellium, but then the rig shuddered violently. Sparks flew. "Power surge," he shouted. "The storm's messing with the systems." Juno barked orders. "Manual override. Cade. Mara, shield the perimeter. Liam, secure the backup power." The storm raged. The other Alliance ships watched from orbit, unable or unwilling to help. The Kiari envoy's voice crackled again, harsher than before. "You will die down there. This is not a place for your kind." Juno ignored the warning. "Not today." Suddenly, one of the human suits flickered, warning lights blinking red. Mara's heart jumped, suit integrity dropping. "Liam, get over here." Liam sprinted through the dust and heat, helping Mara retreat under a makeshift shield dome. Cade had erected. The humans huddled close, breathing heavy, sweat slipping down their faces inside the helmets. Then, as if the storm wanted to test them one last time, a bolt of lightning struck the drill rig, frying its main control. The ground trembled violently, cracks spiderwebbed across the black soil. "Everyone, back to the shuttle," Juno ordered. But Liam stayed behind a moment longer, grabbing a data chip from the rig's core. "We need this," he said simply. Juno nodded, understanding the risk. "Move." They made it back to the shuttle, just as the storm reached its peak. The ship's engines roared to life, and the humans blasted off just before the magnetic storm shattered the surface behind them. In orbit, the humans wiped dust and sweat from their faces, panting but alive. The other Alliance members were silent, their faces a mix of disbelief and grudging respect. Ambassador Thrix's voice came again, quieter this time. "How did you survive?" Juno smiled, tired but proud. "We're used to the impossible." Mara looked at the dark planet below, still glowing faintly beneath the storm clouds. "We're just getting started." The galaxy had written humans off. They thought the furnace would burn them away like ash. They were wrong. The shuttle trembled as it broke through Veralia 7's thick atmosphere and reached orbit. Inside, the 4 humans, Captain Juno, Kalon, Sergeant Liam Drake, Dr. Mara Solis, and Engineer Cade Rowan sat, catching their breath, sweat still cooling on their skin, beneath their suits. Outside, the furnace planet churned below them, dark clouds swirling with electricity. The storm was relentless, an angry beast that seemed determined to swallow anything living whole. "Data from the drill?" Juno asked, voice steady but tired. Cade pulled a small data chip from his pocket and plugged it into the ship's console. "We got something." His fingers moved quickly as graphs and images filled the screen. "Cryostellium veins, just like we expected. But look at this." He zoomed in on a strange pattern within the crystal matrix, irregular pulses of energy, almost like a heartbeat. "It's active, like it's alive or responding to something." Mara leaned forward, eyes wide. "That's impossible. Crystals don't do that." Liam frowned, rubbing his chin. "Maybe that's why no one else could mine it, because they didn't know what to listen for." Juno's mind raced. The Alliance had always treated Veralia 7 as a dead, dangerous world. But what if the furnace was more than just a harsh planet? What if it was alive in some way? Over the comm, Ambassador Thrix's voice broke the silence. "Humans, your gamble could end in disaster. The Alliance has authorized no further missions to the furnace. You are ordered to return immediately." Juno's jaw tightened. "Understood, but we're not done yet." She looked around at her team. Each one of them carried a stubborn hope in their eyes, the kind that refused to quit, no matter how much the universe pushed back. The next day, the humans prepared for a second descent. This time, they were better equipped, armed with improved shielding and enhanced cooling systems that Cade had rigged in record time. The other species watched from orbit, still skeptical, some even amused. When the shuttle touched down again on the black glass plains, the storm had lessened, but the air still crackled with danger. The humans moved quickly, setting up a mobile lab. Mara immediately started analyzing the strange energy pulses from the cryostellium samples. "Captain," Mara said softly after hours of study, "the crystals are not just alive, they're communicating. It's almost like a language made of light and energy." Juno raised an eyebrow. "Communicating with whom?" Mara shrugged. "That's the mystery." Liam checked the perimeter. "Again, we're not alone here." Juno stopped and looked up at him sharply. "What do you mean?" He pointed toward the horizon, where faint shadows flickered like ghosts beneath the storm clouds. "Movement. Something's watching us." Before anyone could answer, a low hum filled the air. The black soil vibrated under their feet, and a soft glowing pulse rippled through the cryostellium veins. The humans froze as the pulses intensified. Suddenly, a burst of light exploded above the ground, revealing a massive creature, a living being made of shimmering crystal and energy. Its form was strange, shifting like a reflection in broken glass, but its eyes locked onto Juno's team with curiosity rather than hostility. The other species ships in orbit went silent, many switching to full alert. No one expected life, here especially not intelligent life. Juno's voice was calm, but her heart pounded. "We're visitors. We don't want to harm you." The creature's energy pulsed again, and the ground trembled softly. Mara whispered, "It's responding to our presence." Juno made a decision. Let's try to communicate. Using the ship's transmitter, Cade sent out a pattern of pulses, mimicking the creature's light signals. The creature answered with a cascade of colors, vibrating faster, almost like laughter, for hours. The humans and the creature exchanged signals, learning from each other. The creature showed visions of the planet's history, storms born from the planet's core to protect its cryostellium veins, ancient guardians of this rare resource. It wasn't just a dangerous world. It was a living ecosystem, fiercely alive and intelligent. Back on the command ship, Ambassador Thrix paced nervously. His voice was sharp on the comm. "Humans, you risk everything by meddling with forces you do not understand." Juno met his warning head on. "We're not afraid to learn, Ambassador. That's why we're still here," the other species whispered, among themselves. Humans had surprised them before with their resilience, but this was something new. Mara finally looked up from her console eyes. After weeks in orbit around Virelia 7, the furnace, the humans aboard the Dauntless grew restless, but also determined. Captain Juno Kalin knew that staying meant more than just survival. It meant proving humanity's worth to the entire intergalactic alliance. Below, the planet still raged with its storms, but the humans had formed a fragile connection with the living crystal entity they called Sin. Communication had improved, and with each exchange, the humans learned more about the planet's mysterious ecology. Yet not everyone in the alliance welcomed their persistence. Ambassador Thrix's messages became more urgent. "Humans, your stubbornness endangers more than your crew. The Alliance will not risk a crisis over one planet's obsession." Across the bridge, Varix the crystalline Zyre counselor snorted. "They'll burn themselves alive before listening." Juno stood firm. "We're not burning, we're learning." Inside the ship's lab, Dr. Mara Solis worked tirelessly analyzing the data from Centaura. Her eyes were tired, but her voice held hope. "Captain, the crystal life here is not just energy. It's a neural network like a brain made of minerals. And light? It's connected to the planet's storms, which act as defense mechanisms." Engineer Cade Rowan leaned over her shoulder. "If we can find a way to stabilize the energy flow between Centaura and the storms, we might be able to safely extract cryostellium without harming the ecosystem." Sergeant Liam Drake, ever watchful, monitored the ship's sensors. "Alien fleets are still watching us closely. No one wants us here, especially not the Verkai worklings. They see humans as reckless." Juno's gaze hardened. "Let them watch. We'll prove them wrong." The political pressure grew. A fleet of imposing warships assembled near the furnace lead by Admiral Threxer of the Verkai. Their massive hulls glinted menacingly, a reminder of the galaxy's power, at a tense alliance meeting on the Dauntless. Juno faced the assembled delegates, representatives from the Zyre, Kiari, Verkai, and other ancient species. Their faces were grim, their voices sharp. "The humans risk upsetting the balance of this sector," Threxer said. "They show reckless disregard for the lives of their crew and the planet." Juno's voice rang clear and steady. "We're here because we see possibility where others see danger. We don't come to conquer, but to understand. If we work with Centaura, not against it, we can open new doors for the Alliance." Ambassador Thrix folded his arms. "Your optimism is admirable, but naive. A murmur ran through the crowd. Several delegates glanced at the human crew with pity, disbelief, or annoyance. Juno felt the weight of centuries of doubt against her, but she refused to falter. She thought of her crew, their courage, their sacrifices, their unshakable will to survive against all odds. She took a deep breath. We ask for one chance. Let us demonstrate our findings. If we fail, we will leave. But if we succeed, the galaxy will owe humanity a new chapter. That night, beneath the harsh glow of the furnace's twin suns, the humans gathered in the shuttle bay. Exhaustion tugged at them, but hope sparked brighter. Mara looked up from her notes. Captain, there's more. Centaura's neural network. It's not just a planet. It's a form of consciousness. It remembers. Juno frowned. Remembers what? Mara's voice dropped. A time when the planet was whole and peaceful. The storms are its way of protecting itself from harm. But if we don't find balance, those storms could become uncontrollable. Liam rubbed his jaw. We need to act fast. The Worklins won't wait forever. Cade's fingers danced over the console. I'm working on a device that can sync with Centaura's signals. Maybe we can calm the storms, talk to it directly. Juno nodded. Then that's our mission. Tonight, we reach out. The shuttle lifted off, gliding through the planet's toxic clouds toward the heart of the storm. Outside, lightning danced, like fierce dragons in the sky. Inside, tension built with every pulse of the ship's engines. Juno sat beside Cade, watching as he activated the device. Its core glowed with soft blue light, matching the rhythm of the crystal signals. Now, Cade whispered. The storm rumbled louder, and suddenly the ship's lights flickered. A voice soft, shimmering, almost musical filled their minds. You come with fire and courage. Why do you disturb our rest? Juno swallowed hard. We come seeking peace. We want to learn how to live with you, not against you. The voice pulsed, like a heartbeat. Many have come before. Few listened. Most took only what they wanted. Mara stepped forward, voice gentle. We want to understand, to protect, to share. The storm outside quieted, lightning fading to a calm glow. If you are true, prove it. Heal what was broken. Juno's heart raced. Tell us how. Back on the Dauntless, the crew waited anxiously. Hours passed like days. Finally, the storm above, the furnace began to calm. Sensors showed the planet's energy flowing steady, stable for the first time in centuries. The delegates watched in stunned silence as the Worklin ships slowly lowered their weapons. Ambassador Thrix spoke quietly. Perhaps humans have found something others missed. Juno allowed herself a small smile. We didn't survive by chance. We survived because we listen. We adapt. We don't just fight the impossible. We become part of it. The galaxy was watching. The furnace had tested humanity, and for now, humanity had passed. The calm after the storm was fragile. Captain Juno Kalin and her team knew better than anyone that the furnace planet was still a volatile world. Its moods could shift in minutes, and with every breath of the planet's toxic air, danger loomed. But now, something had changed. The alien delegates aboard the Dauntless were silent, their faces unreadable as they observed the quiet hum of the ship's sensors. The Worklin fleets kept their distance, watching, waiting. Juno stood on the observation deck, staring down at Veralia's surface. The glowing veins of cryostellium pulsed gently beneath the black glass planes, like a living heartbeat. She felt the weight of history, the crushing doubt of the galaxy's most powerful species, and the fragile hope of her own crew. Beside her, Dr. Mara Solis was busy analyzing new data streaming from the planet's surface. Captain, Mara said softly, Centaura is responding faster than we thought. The neural network is beginning to open, sharing information we never expected. Juno turned. What kind of information? Mara smiled, tired but excited. It's memory snapshots of the planet's past. The planet wasn't always a furnace. It was once lush, vibrant, full of life, protected by Sintara's energy. Juno's eyes widened. So the storms started only after what? After a catastrophe, Mara replied. A collision with a rogue comet shattered the surface, poisoned the atmosphere. Sintara awakened the storms as a defense. It has been protecting itself ever since, but at a terrible cost. Juno's gaze dropped to the glowing planet below. We're not just mining crystals. We're touching a living history. We need to be careful. Meanwhile, Ambassador Thrix stood before the Alliance Council's holographic assembly, his voice sharp but respectful. Humans have shown unexpected resilience. Their ability to understand and adapt is unusual among species, he admitted. Councillor Verex of the Zyre added, their connection to Sintara suggests a kind of empathy we rarely see. This could change how we approach other worlds. Juno knew the stakes. The galaxy could accept humans as partners, or write them off as reckless idealists. The next steps would decide their fate. Back on the furnace's surface, the humans prepared a bold experiment. Engineer Cade Rowan had designed a device to gently pulse energy into the cryostellium veins, hoping to stabilize the storms and ease Sintara's pain. The team gathered near the pilot site. Liam checked their suits and weapons, always alert for danger. Ready? Cade said, his voice steady, despite the tension. Juno gave the signal. Let's do this. Cade activated the device. A soft blue glow spread through the black soil. The ground trembled, but this time it was calm like a great sigh. Suddenly, the sky above shifted. The storm clouds parted, revealing twin suns, shining softly through clear air. For a moment, the furnace looked like the planet it had been long ago. Mara's voice trembled. It's working. The storms are retreating. Juno's heart pounded with hope. We're healing a world, but not everyone welcomed this change. From the dark edge of the system, a fleet of Verkai warships surged forward, weapons charged. Admiral Threxer's voice blasted over the comms. Humans, you have disrupted the natural order. Leave now, or face the consequences. Juno clenched her fists. We don't want war. Then stand down, Threxer growled. Juno's voice was calm, fierce. We stand for peace, for survival. If you want conflict, you'll have to go through us. The warships hesitated. Then, unexpectedly, Ambassador Thrix's voice joined. The come Threxer, cease fire. The humans' actions have proven their value. The War Clan admiral snarled, but the fleet withdrew. In the tense silence that followed, the crew felt a shift. The Alliance's oldest powers had grudgingly accepted humans as something new, something different. Liam looked at Juno. We did it. Juno smiled. No, we did it. Together. Mara added softly. The furnace is alive, and so are we. As the planet below pulsed with calm energy, Juno knew their journey was far from over. The galaxy had tested humanity's fire and humanity had burned brighter than ever. The Dauntless hummed softly in orbit, bathed in the red glow of Veralius 7's fiery surface. Inside, Captain Juno Kalin paced the bridge, her thoughts racing as the Alliance's attention shifted uneasily toward humanity's success. Below, the furnace no longer raged with uncontrollable storms. Instead, a gentle pulse of energy flowed through the planet's veins, a quiet harmony between nature and the humans who had dared to understand it. Captain, Mara called from the lab, her voice bright with discovery. Sintara's neural network is expanding its communication range. It's sharing data about the planet's ecosystems, its history, and something else. Juno stepped into the lab, peering over Mara's shoulder at the glowing projections. The images showed vibrant forests, clear lakes, and creatures that once thrived before the furnace became a wasteland. And this something else? Juno asked, heart pounding. Mara's eyes shone with excitement. It's a warning. The planet remembers the comet strike that changed everything, and it senses another threat approaching. Liam, standing nearby, frowned. What kind of threat? Before Mara could answer, the ship's alarms blared. The sensors detected an incoming fleet, a coalition of hostile ships from beyond the Alliance, their designs unfamiliar and menacing. Unknown vessels approaching fast. Cade announced, his fingers flying over the controls. They're war-ready. Juno's jaw tightened. Prepare for possible battle. Inform the Alliance fleet. As the unknown fleet closed in, the Alliance ships readied their weapons, but hesitation rippled through the ranks. No one had seen this enemy before, and the odds looked grim. On the Dauntless, Juno gathered her team. We faced the greatest test yet, but we're not alone. Centaura is with us. The furnace is alive and it's on our side. Liam loaded his rifle, voice steady. They think we're just fragile humans. They don't know we fight with fire in our souls. Mara nodded, and with hope in our hearts. The battle began in the shadows of the furnace's storm clouds. Laser blasts streaked through the sky, metal ships weaving between glowing energy currents and flashes of lightning. The unknown enemy was ruthless and organized, but they underestimated the humans' tactics. Juno ordered the Dauntless to lead a daring flanking maneuver, slipping through the chaotic storm to strike the enemy's weak points. Cade's engineering genius shone as he adapted their shields in real time, using the planet's own electromagnetic fields to cloak their movements. Amid the chaos, Liam and Mara coordinated rescue missions, pulling stranded pilots from disabled ships and treating wounds with the human crew's advanced medical tech. The alien fleet began to falter, confused by the humans' unpredictability and resilience. Back on the planet's surface, Centaura responded to the battle above. Its pulses intensified, sending energy waves that disrupted the enemy ship's systems. The storm clouds thickened, not as a weapon, but as a shield. Juno watched the readings in awe. The furnace fights with us. As the enemy fleet withdrew, the Alliance ships rallied, their respect for humanity growing. Ambassador Thrix's voice came through the comm, filled with reluctant admiration. Humans, your courage and unity have saved us all today. Juno allowed herself a tired smile. We survive because we stand together, human, alien, and planet alike. In the aftermath, the Alliance called a council meeting to discuss humanity's place among the stars. The skeptical voices softened, replaced by cautious hope. Counselor Varex addressed the assembly. The humans have taught us something vital. Strength is not only in power, but in heart and unity. Juno stood tall, her eyes shining with pride. We came here as outsiders, underestimated and doubted, but we leave as partners, ready to face whatever the galaxy throws at us. That night, as the Dauntless orbited a calmer furnace, the humans gathered on the observation deck. Liam looked at the glowing planet below. We did more than survive. We changed a world. Mara smiled softly, and maybe changed the galaxy too. Juno's gaze swept the stars beyond. This is just the beginning. The galaxy had tested humanity's fire and humanity had become an unbreakable flame. The calm that settled over Varelia 7 was a fragile thing, though the storms had retreated and the enemy fleet had withdrawn. The scars left behind ran deep not just on the planet, but within the hearts of those who had faced the furnace's fury. Captain Juno Kalin stood alone on the observation deck of the Dauntless, staring out at the darkened surface below. The red glow of the cryostellium veins pulsed softly like a heartbeat. It was a reminder of the living world beneath them, and the price they had paid to reach this moment. Inside the ship, the crew worked quietly. Sergeant Liam Drake cleaned his rifle, his hands steady, despite the exhaustion etched on his face. Dr. Mara Solis tended to the wounded, her gentle touch a balm amid the harshness of the mission. Engineer Cade Rowan adjusted the energy shields. Always vigilant for the next challenge, Juno's voice broke the silence as she entered the med bay. How are they? Mara looked up, her eyes heavy, recovering. But some won't make it. The furnace takes more than it gives. Juno swallowed hard. We knew the risks. Liam appeared at the door. and we'll carry the weight. That's what makes us human. Days passed, and the Alliance watched closely. Some envied humanity's courage, others questioned the cost. At the next Alliance Council, voices rose in heated debate. Ambassador Thrix spoke with careful diplomacy. Humans have shown bravery, but at what price? Is it worth risking entire crews for a single planet? Councillor Varex responded, sometimes the greatest risks bring the greatest rewards. Humanity's resilience is unlike any we have seen. Juno stood before the council, her heart heavy, but her spirit unbroken. The furnace tested us. We lost good people, but we gained knowledge, trust, and a future. If we shy away from risk, we lose everything. The room fell silent. Back on the Dauntless, the humans gathered to honor those who had fallen. Liam lit a small flame in the memorial room, a rare thing aboard a space vessel. The soft orange glow flickered, casting shadows on the faces of those who survived. Juno's voice was steady as she spoke. They gave their lives so we could stand here today. Their courage is our strength, Mara added, and their sacrifice teaches us to be wiser, to fight not just with fire, but with heart. Cade nodded. We will carry them forward in every step we take. Outside the ship, Veralia 7's surface slowly healed. The cryostellium pulses grew steadier, the storms more peaceful. Sintara's presence was stronger, a silent guardian watching over the planet and its new allies. Juno felt a deep connection to the world below, a bond forged in fire and courage. We came as strangers, she whispered, and now we are part of this planet's story. Suddenly, the ship's alarms blared. Sensors detected a new anomaly, a wave of energy moving toward Vera. Cade's fingers flew over the controls. It's a massive energy surge coming from deep within the planet. Mara's face paled. Could it be Sintara? Juno's eyes narrowed. Or something awakening. The crew braced for what was coming, knowing that the furnace's trial was far from over. That night, as the red glow bathed the ship, Juno stood on the observation deck again. Her mind raced with questions, doubts, and hope. We survive, she said quietly to the stars. Not because we are strongest, but because we never give up. And as the furnace pulsed below, she vowed that humanity's fire would never be extinguished. The Dauntless shuddered as a wave of energy surged through its shields. Captain Juno Kalin gripped the console, eyes locked on the flashing warning lights. Below them, Veralia 7 pulsed like a living heart, its energy rising beyond any previous readings. We're detecting a massive release. Something big is waking up, Engineer Cade Rowan said, voice tense but steady. Dr. Mara Solis stared at the screen, concern etched on her face. Sintara's neural network is reacting. This isn't just energy, it's a message. Juno's heart hammered. A message? From who, or what? Liam Drake moved beside her, rifle ready but calm. From the furnace itself. It's alive in ways we don't fully understand yet. The crew gathered in the command room as the energy surge intensified. Lights flickered. The ship rocked with the planet's powerful pulse. Suddenly, the communications console crackled to life. A voice, soft and shimmering like wind, through crystals filled the room. You have come far, humans. You have shown courage and respect. Now, will you face the truth at the heart of the furnace? Juno swallowed hard, her voice steady. We're ready, the voice replied. Then descend to the core. Face the fire that built this world. Only then can harmony be true. With no time to lose, the shuttle team prepared for a dangerous descent into the planet's core, a place no living being had ever dared to enter. Juno, Liam, Mara, and Cade suited up, hearts pounding with both fear and determination. Whatever happens, Juno said, looking each of them in the eyes, we face it together. They boarded the shuttle and plunged into the glowing depths, the temperature rising with every meter. The walls shimmered with flowing crystal and molten light. The core was a cathedral of fire and stone, alive with raw energy. The air buzzed. with power, and the pulse of Sintara was overwhelming. Mara's voice was barely a whisper. It's beautiful and terrifying. Suddenly, from the light, a figure emerged, made of pure crystal and flame. It was Sintara itself, the planet's heart and mind. Juno stepped forward, voice strong. We have come to understand, to protect, to unite. Sintara's form shifted, glowing brighter. You carry the fire of your ancestors. You survive through courage, hope, and unity. But will you protect the furnace as it protected you? Juno nodded. We will, together. Sintara's light bathed the team, filling them with warmth and strength. The planet's storms calmed, the pulses steady and strong. Back on the Dauntless, the Alliance fleet watched in awe as the energy readings normalized. The threat was no longer a danger, but a powerful ally. Ambassador Thrix's voice trembled with respect. Humans have not only survived the furnace, they have awakened its heart. Returning to the surface, Juno's team felt changed. The bond with Varelia 7 was no longer just survival, it was a partnership. Liam looked at the glowing planet, then at his friends. We came here as outsiders. Now, we are part of this world. Mara smiled softly. And part of its future. Cade nodded. We proved that courage and understanding can burn brighter than any storm. Captain Juno Kalin stood once more, on the observation deck, staring at the stars beyond. The galaxy had doubted humanity. The furnace had tested them in fire and shadow, but humanity's light had not just survived, had grown stronger, and as the planet pulsed quietly beneath them, Juno whispered, we are the fire that will never die. The calm that settled over Varelia 7 was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The furnace no longer screamed with storms or pulses of chaos. Instead, it breathed softly, a living world at peace. Captain Juno Kalin and her team stood together. On the observation deck of the Dauntless, their faces illuminated by the planet's gentle glow. The journey had tested every fiber of their being physically, mentally, and emotionally. Mara broke the silence first, her voice filled with wonder. We came here as strangers, but now, this planet feels like home. Liam nodded, rubbing the back of his neck. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm proud to be part of something bigger than us. Cade smiled, his eyes reflecting the glow of the planet. We showed the galaxy something it didn't expect. That humans survive, where others fail. Juno looked at her team, feeling a swell of pride and gratitude. It's not just survival. It's how we survive with courage, hope, and heart. The Alliance fleet had gathered around Varelia 7 to witness this new chapter. Ambassador Thrix addressed the assembled leaders with a tone of respect previously unheard. The humans have done more than survive. They have rekindled the furnace's spirit and shown us the power of unity and understanding. Counselor Varix added, perhaps humanity's greatest strength is their resilience, their ability to connect with life in ways others cannot. Juno listened quietly, knowing that this moment was not just about them, but about the future of all species in the galaxy. As celebrations began, a sudden alert broke the calm. A small signal flickered on the ship's console, a distress call from a distant Alliance colony on the edge of known space. Cade frowned. It's from the Saren system. They're under attack by a mysterious force. Juno's eyes hardened. Then our fight isn't over. She turned to her crew, determination burning bright. We've faced the impossible and won. Now, it's time to bring that fire to others. Liam tightened his grip on his rifle. Let's show them what humans are made of. Mara nodded, her voice steady. Together, we can protect the galaxy we've come to love. As the Dauntless set course for the Saren system, Juno reflected on everything they had endured. They had come to a world no one else dared touch, faced storms and enemies, and found life where none expected. They had learned to listen to a planet, to each other, and to the deeper strength within themselves. Their journey had become a beacon of hope, The stars stretched endlessly before them, but Juno knew one truth above all: humanity's flame would never be extinguished, no matter the darkness, no matter the odds. They would always rise, burning brighter than ever, and in that light, the galaxy would find a new hope. The Dauntless soared through the stars, its crew weary but unbroken. Captain Juno Kalin stood at the helm, eyes fixed on the distant Siren system, where a new threat loomed. This mission was different, no longer just survival, but leadership. Humanity had proven it could survive the furnace. Now, it was time to lead, to protect, to inspire. As the ship entered Siren's orbit, alarms flared. The colony below was under siege, caught between a deadly attack and political chaos. Juno's heart tightened. We can't let fear win, not now. Liam checked the weapon systems, ready to move on your command. Mara and Cade worked quickly to set up medical support and shield enhancements for the colony. The battle was fierce, but shorter than expected. The enemy, though powerful, underestimated the humans' tenacity and creativity. Juno directed the fleet with calm precision, using unorthodox tactics. Learned from their time on Varelius 7, they used the terrain and energy flows to their advantage, turning the tide in moments. After the battle, the survivors gathered on the colony's surface, faces filled with relief, hope, and newfound trust. Juno spoke to them, voice steady and warm. You are not alone. Together, we are stronger. The crowd erupted in cheers, but Juno's eyes searched the stars, knowing the fight was far from over. Back on the Dauntless, the Alliance leaders convened again. Ambassador Thrix, humbled and sincere, addressed the assembly. Humanity has changed the course of this galaxy. Their courage, their unity, and their refusal to surrender to darkness remind us all what is possible. Counselor Vorax nodded. They carry the light we all need. Juno stood quietly, her mind reflecting on the journey, from the furnace's storm-racked surface to the battlefields of Saren. Humanity had faced impossible odds and emerged, not just survivors but beacons. Their secret was not weapons or technology, but something deeper. It was their unbreakable spirit, their empathy, and their fierce hope, as the Dauntless sailed toward new challenges. Juno whispered to the stars, a promise to herself and the galaxy. We are the fire that refuses to die, the light that burns in the darkest night, the hope that never fades. And in that moment, the galaxy understood humanity was not just a species. They were a force of nature, unstoppable and eternal.